going on, everybody? It's the Wave Report. As you can see, we're doing things a little different.
Facts.
We got the family, friends involved. Do a little panel discussion. It's your boy Young One Jonah.
It's your boy Joe Waters, aka
It's Tremonte with a third dark man. We got the family and friends here. Let's get to the topic. I'm not. You don't have to be.
Thank you. What the fuck is he looking at?
So you see the motherfucker right there. God
damn. Chill out, man. Hey, how you doing? It's you.
Anyway, how's everybody doing? Lit? I'm lit too. I ain't got no drink, so you know how I'm lit.
I'm good.
We can have minutes.
Alright, so I got a couple questions, man. We're gonna get into this a little bit. And I'm gonna start light, man. I just gotta say, when you in a relationship with something like that, most people want loyalty, right? That's like most people number one thing. Mm-hmm. My question is, how loyal is too loyal?
That's a good question.
Can you even go too far? Is it
you can.
Okay.
You too loyal if you can't be honest with that person. So if I'm doing something wrong, you need to let me know I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have that discussion together. But just don't embarrass me in public type stuff.
Yeah.
Don't yes man.
Yeah, y'all don't yes man. Let me know what I'm doing wrong and we go ahead and fix that thing together. Don't let me be out here looking crazy.
Right.
The most important thing that I learned, that I was terrible at on that relationship, is communication.
Yeah.
I'm still terrible at
You
it.
have to communicate. For us dudes, we always try to hold shit in and da. But if you committed to that person loyal to you, your deepest, darkest secrets, you gotta be able to trust that person with that. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's deep dark secrets is one thing, but when you deal with some people nowadays,
but you gotta get to know people. People don't get to know people.
right.
You know what people do? And he attested to this when we had one this Soho, when it was all us and the little chick that came up there. She met a dude, she was like 21, 22, she young, USF, whatever. So we talking to her, she sit down, I'm like, damn, she must really have this shit on her mind. She talking about the dude she dating, and she like, oh, y'all went to this social media, why? Wow. If you feel like you in a relationship with that person, you should be able to go to that person with any kind of concern, anything that you
you should be able to feel like that. But
if you can't, leave.
right. But what if you think you can? And she turned around and a year later she like, oh yeah, well he did this and that, and she the whole chatterbox. She telling everybody all your information.
So that's your fault. That's your fault. Cause you gotta, people don't set boundaries. Like when you first meet somebody, you're like, look, this is what I take, this is what I don't take, this is what I would not stand for. It's a deal breaker for me.
Right.
Period.
But she might have done it, and then after the fact, it might be a deal breaker for you. But what if she did it and you didn't know what was going on the whole time?
But
And she's like, oh yeah, well he told me this and that, but you don't know what's going on. She just
okay,
said, oh,
look, that's your fault.
I agree. It's your fault.
Stop listening to Drake album.
Look. But when it comes to that is, one thing I learned in a relationship is that if you loyal, if you doing your part, that shit gonna come back on that person. Period. I don't care. It might take years from there, but it's gonna come back on that person.
I agree.
You always gotta be the better person. You always gotta be the best person that you can be. Control what you can control. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're in a relationship. You're probably totally different than what you was when you first met her, but that's a relationship. It's like you go through things, you go through ebbs and flows, but you gotta grow. If you grow in a relationship, you got something out the relationship. I hate when women say and men say, oh, it's a waste of time. How is that a waste of time? Because when you get another relationship, you won't do the same thing that you did in the other relationship because you didn't, okay, well, this went wrong in a relationship. I need to work on this. I need to evolve from this. I need to step back and work on myself. I'm old, though.
Why, for the women, why are y'all loyal to the fault? Y'all know the dude is doing wrong. Y'all know he's no good. Y'all probably know from jump because y'all got this intuition about y'all.
Yeah.
But y'all will sit into a relationship for months, for years, expecting this man to change.
I think you invested. Like you just invested so much energy and time. Like I don't want to see it crumble. Like okay, maybe there's a hope. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you ride on that.
And I feel like if I make that decision to leave that person,
Oh, it's done.
listen, I did everything that I could. I exhausted all options. So when I leave, there's no excuse to say, well, you were doing it too. You were cheating on me. You were doing this. No, I wasn't. That's just my thing.
Do people really do that though? Like exhaust like every means to the
Women do that.
I for damn sure.
The whole
thinking that that person's gonna change or something's gonna happen. So you're still allowing it to happen. Like, okay, maybe there's something there, and you realize that nah. Like I tried everything, and it didn't work. Like
Especially if they're manipulating you online.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's
I
what I'm
feel
about to get at right there. That right there, that manipulating
Yeah,
line.
y'all do that very well.
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all some free game. Niggas wouldn't be single if they weren't doing shit like that. I'm just telling you straight up. I'm gonna own up the shit that I done did. You know
I done
what I'm
did it
saying?
before. Yeah, I done did it
But
before.
y'all look for girls that are insecure.
That ain't
That's
true.
where the little.
Fuck that.
A lot of men do that.
Yeah, a lot of men.
Yeah, but a lot of men do that. I don't do that. I don't
That's
do
too
that.
much work, bitch. That's all about it. That's watching in the car, bitch. You gotta sit down and listen to stuff. You like,
Yeah.
man, look.
I think overall most men don't want an insecure woman. It's too many problems.
I don't even like to
It's too much time.
I can understand
It's
that.
time.
I don't even want to have a text conversation with
I ain't gonna show that's your lip.
I'm straight.
But to piggyback off of what he said, why women loyal to a fault? Because a lot of women, they feel like they don't want to feel like they wasted their time. That'll go back to what I said.
But during that, you are wasting time.
Yeah, he's right.
That's true.
He's 100% right. You shouldn't exhaust everything into a man until you know he's giving you the sign that it's go time. You can exhaust everything. But until then,
What would that
What
sound
I'm about to say, like, what that look like?
What would it sound
I think
like?
it's different for every man. Like whatever time it is for you to like, you realize I'm settling down. This is serious. Like you know, a woman knows. Like you said, it goes back to that intuition. I
But
think this
But they go back to the manipulating too. Shit.
But I said-
I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm like that.
true.
And be like, shit.
and the whole time, I might be giving
But
you
that's up
whole
to her to figure out.
great thoughts and never did.
What you
I think that it's also about the fact that women were made to nurture. And so when we find a man that we really want to invest in, we kind of speak things into them, and even though they're having a hard time building up to that level, we see it in them and we want them to reach it. And we want to
She's
be
smart.
there with them.
Next question.
It goes back to that.
That's all.
That goes back to
God damn, boy.
Hey, y'all
I
chasing
ain't got one right now.
Anybody else?
Nah, that's it right
Oh, she just murdered it. Low.
Listen,
It's done.
a whole yours out here.
So we did Tate asked a question on Facebook, what it was, like a week or so ago, about how much you pay on the first date or whatever. And everybody had something to say on the comments. I want to do this on camera. I ain't paying more than $50 on camera when it happened.
But
I agree with
I was telling my boy Kenny off camera, a lot of times these days when you go on dates, people don't go to dates in just one particular spot. They'll go to the movies and they'll go out to eat and they'll go get drinks.
Yeah, no.
What Petey said, they'll go to karaoke. So you're spending a lot of money on the first date.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's cliche. I think it's
What,
cliche.
you want karaoke?
And he expected to get behind there. But no, like, I can see the whole.
I see you in praise and worship. You don't say no word.
The only thing that put it into perspective for me today, after we had the conversation off camera, was if you have that rapport with a person beforehand. So I can see it like if you meet that person, and you like, hey, we gonna go out and go get some drinks, and you just meeting them. I'm not spending more than like $50 on it. If you know that person, and y'all cool, and y'all vibe, then you can spend a little bit more. $200 something is still a little excessive for me. I know my limits.
I'm not gonna lie, me personally, I would not allow that to happen.
That part. But like, yeah. We talked 220 earlier today.
200, I'm expecting something. That's so
That's not a lot of money. Y'all think that's not a lot of money?
That's not a lot.
What y'all doing?
Hey,
My first date was at Fleming.
Can I ask you a question?
$300.
Can I ask you, I mean, disrespectful?
Oh, yeah,
Now 200 something date, right?
It's car insurance.
Why didn't y'all work?
Why what?
Why y'all not together right now? Now where did I get him?
Nowhere.
Can that be a car payment for him?
That's called
Hey, a car payment. Some of these people car
Right,
payment
wait.
more money than
Yeah,
that, right?
exactly. Yeah.
So, pay paid how much? Like 300? It was like over. It was over 300.
That was like close to $300.
So over $35. So he paid $250.
Already too much.
He paid over $250. And I'm gonna ask the question that I'm not trying to be. Did he smash or have any kind of smash-like activity?
Go ahead, break.
Did he get a kiss on the cheek?
Nope.
Go ahead, love.
He got a kiss on the cheek.
You knew
Well,
he was.
yeah, he got a hug.
No, you knew he was.
He got a
green.
hug.
You got a
It ain't words. You just knew he wasn't like that. You took advantage of a nice
I
guy,
did.
or a fake
But I
nice
did.
guy.
I
He
did
just,
not.
cause a nigga that's like that ain't dropping 300. And he ain't just at least finger banging.
Unless it's a millionaire or something like that, 300.
Come on, man.
That's a lot for
Even a
me.
nigga who flexing ain't gonna drop
Yeah.
3.
If he got that kind of money, if he got that money like that.
Wait, time out. Did he get a second date?
Yes.
How much did he spend on the second date?
I can't even remember.
Where'd y'all go?
I can't remember.
How long did y'all date for?
It was that bad, huh? She couldn't remember.
Did y'all?
And this is why I don't spend more than $60, $70.
Hold
So
on.
we're just getting to know each other. Someone that I met and I knew, and I mean, we vibe. So he decided to take me somewhere nice to eat. So we went to Fleming.
Did he go to your church?
Nope.
Is he your class teacher?
Nope.
He might choose. He probably was trying to show off.
But that's
So, wait, who suggested going to Fleming? Was it you or him?
No, he did.
So now is it as wrong if he's the one who said, hey,
I
I'm
did.
taking you to
No.
Fleming?
It ain't wrong if he suggests it.
Look, that's not
Yes. I know.
Never said it was her fault. It's never her fault.
Hey, one at a time.
Never her fault. Never her fault. She's.
That's trash. That's just trash.
How? Because he invited me to Fleming.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're in the right. You're good.
That's
You're
trash.
good.
That's
But
trash.
him?
They call him a dope.
He was trying to flex. He was trying to flex basically
That's
to
what I'm
get in
saying.
good with
But
it.
not
He could have had a big
He has that.
That's still a flex.
How
That's what he does his favorite spot to go on
That is.
Thursday night.
But if
On
I'm-
Thursday.
That's his favorite spot to go to.
If I was a millionaire and I want to get to know somebody, I want to get to know them. So the environment doesn't matter. I just need an environment to be with that person. So if I'm trying to be with you and I'm trying to know you and I'm trying to know what makes you happy, what makes you tick, what makes you whatever, I don't need to be, yo, let me get the Hey, let me get the vintage 1999. I don't need to be doing all of that. Like I just want to get time to know you. I don't need to go top of the line. $300? That's I don't care if you got money to burn. That's some stuff. Like once you get past like at least $75, you slowly become into like, all right.
You trying to impress
I just spent.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I'm different because I'm old school too. Like you got a court woman too.
No, I understand.
Niggas
That's
a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying.
court women. Niggas want to run. Let me finish. Niggas want to run game on chicks. It's cool to run game on chicks if you trying to smash,
Right.
but if you trying to get something more value out of that, you gotta invest time and money.
And that's exactly what I'm
That's
saying.
exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying once you get beyond 75, once
Now I can spend 100.
What I'm saying is, once you get beyond 75, that's automatic. I'm seeing something in you, and I want to have more dates with you. It's 350 or 300, and that's just.
But also, dudes don't be direct. Dudes will try to do like you said. He kind of he'll spend the money like that, but you don't know if she move off money like that. You know, you gotta let your intentions be known up front. Like dudes,
And I can do that at Applebee's.
you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the date aspect either. I'm talking about in general. If I come up to a chick, I'm gonna tell her, look, I want to do this, this, and this. If she say no, she say no. But at least she was upfront and honest. Don't waste their time. Don't waste my time.
100%.
Period.
100%.
That sound like I'm on this side. But I'm just saying.
But can I rebuttal that real quick?
You're so right.
Because we going into 2019 now. So even women are like, listen, yeah, you can send it up front, but I'm still gonna try to get what I want off the back end. So
That's the woman you deal with, man.
No. It's not. I never dealt with a woman like that before. What I'm saying is there are women like that who will do that thing. So you gotta remember that times are changing now. So even dudes ain't shit, this and that. Times are changing now. Women are doing certain. Don't disrespect nobody.
But it's true.
But times are changing. You start to see certain stuff like women are doing stuff that's like amazing. Dudes like, oh my god, this girl just cheated on me and I never expected it. Well, times is changing. You gotta get with the time.
But at the same time, y'all keep putting gender categories. Humans don't be humans. The one thing I say is, if I'm in a relationship, I say I'm married. If she cheat, I can't be like, oh no, you can't go nowhere. I'm gonna beat her up. I'm gonna beat the dude up.
Right.
That's something that she did. I can't control somebody. Dudes want to. I know so many dudes that control their wives. Like, oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. A human gonna be a human at the end of the day.
And they will be. But you have to remember, when you're dealing with stuff like social media and how much it's taken over our people today, you're dealing with actresses and artists and stuff like Cardi B or people who but what I'm saying, they content with understanding like, oh, go ahead and get your bag and take advantage of this man and take advantage of that man. You gonna deal with other stuff, especially today, like females.
But that's a weak.
I'm going
That's a weak-minded woman. At the end of the day,
I'm not saying it's not.
At the end of the day, I feel like you guys do your due diligence to get to know somebody. I ain't talking about what a person tell you, what a person show you. Right. Going off of, oh yeah, I do this. I just be at home. I don't really go nowhere like that. Like you, anybody can say that shit. I can say I'm a millionaire, but I got a Bentley at home.
But then you dealing with somebody who can get into your mind though. Because if you dealing with somebody who's like, oh, well I can do this and I can do that, they can be playing with your mind the whole time.
You gotta, at the end of the day, you gotta show me before I even take you out.
But what you trying to see? If you dealing with the right woman, they can show you. It just might not
So
be the
all
real
this
thing.
is proven to me. You still need to spend $300 at Fleming's.
It's true. I ain't spending $100.
Who won?
But it
All this at Barcade. You go to Target, you get drink some coffee, it's $13 right there.
All that going to place, Barnes and Noble, nobody reads, Joe. Nobody reads. I'm not going to Barnes and Noble. I'm not going to Barnes and Noble.
I agree.
He don't
Trying to start a book club. That's what they're
You don't do anything that involves plastic.
Trying to tell niggas to go to Sam Break. You feel me? No, look, I want to pose a question. Like something off of what it is. What it is. Oh, that's something I was reading.
Anxiety.
But I got a question came off of what y'all just said. I want to know from the ladies, like, how does social media move you? Like, what you see a guy doing on social media? How he
Absolutely
is?
not.
Like,
Yes.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, explain to me.
like, I mean, does it turn you on? Does it make you interested?
I can't.
How, you know, do
You
you
talking about
want,
these?
you want to see
But you
more?
talking about different.
Because social media.
I know chicks.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Whatever people put on social media to me is fake. At the end
It's
of
a
the day.
front.
It's just a front to just put out that you're just such a great person. I'm sorry, I know you in real life. So
Yeah, right. I actually don't like when someone's really like
Like,
on
not
social media
exactly.
like that. That's a turn off.
I cannot see
Really?
Because that to me shows me his priorities.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
that
to
doesn't
show
matter
off.
to me. I like someone under the radar.
Exactly.
You don't have to
I
do that.
can't laugh.
But to piggyback off that, I know some chicks that move off dudes on social media.
Yeah.
They mind like
Yeah,
that.
for
Like,
sure.
I think you see a nigga with a shirt tucked in and you see the belt, you like, bro,
can't
that's a
laugh.
belt, man.
Right, right.
That's a gold. He live with his mom and grandma.
Yeah.
I think a lot of women be lying when they say they want a low-key man. Because if a man is open, what if that's really who he is?
Talk to him.
Like, I'm a sociable person.
Right.
So the perception of me will probably be like, this somebody who likes attention. But people who really know me know.
No.
They gonna
He gonna call
When I
everybody
make
out.
that comment, I'm talking about people who like men who take a lot of pictures of themselves.
That's gay.
And post
Oh, yeah,
that.
that's-
Like, take a picture of me, take a picture of me. Like, men
Oh,
who-
whoa.
You know how to do TikToks?
What's the
Say,
Nah.
no, you gotta
Like,
say.
I need to hear this. What about using TikToks?
I just don't like it. It's not my preference. Like, I just don't think that that's like a thing. Man,
So you're saying the dude?
That's all
So you're saying the dude with duck
I
lips?
just feel like that. I just feel like what?
So you're saying the dude with duck lips is a turn on?
Yeah, like what you making that face for? Like,
So
that's
basically,
Looking at ladies and stuff.
you ain't got no
I don't
shot.
see all that.
You ain't got no shot. My nigga, you take a selfie a day. My nigga be at the
yeah,
desk.
absolutely
Listen.
not. That's too much.
And listen,
That is too much.
Can I say something real quick?
That is too much.
I don't think it's nothing wrong with a selfie every now and then.
That I was about to say that.
However, what is the man supposed to put on his social media?
I think if he's like me and my bros, smiling, you know, chilling, whatever. But you sitting over here like,
You can tell when a man's full of
yeah, it's different.
You can
It's
tell
So
different.
what if I post a selfie, but I I don't post on like Instagram like every 2 weeks, and I post a selfie or something like that.
That's okay.
Is that too much, or you make somebody who's like constantly
But
going?
back to the details. It's just the point of like taking a selfie like repeatedly over and over and
There's
over.
some people that will
Just
do it 4
like,
times a
So
day.
quick question. So quick question. So what if you're somebody who you have to maintain a presence on social media
Yeah.
for your business or something
Yeah.
that you do? You don't have like professional photos every day,
Yeah.
so you need to do something. So
And
what
that's
in that
the-
particular
I mean,
case,
if
if that's
you're
somebody who has
taking-
if that's somebody that has your interest, like you oh, he's a little cute.
Yeah.
And you post every day, but it's
Yeah.
not professional. Does that turn you off in that
No,
regard?
because if that's
I'm
her,
only talking about photos. I'm talking about that guy. He put a selfie up, and it's like a motivational quote that really has nothing to do with the selfie, but he's
But he
just.
doesn't-
That's what you talking about. It got nothing to do with it.
does he do it for money? You
No,
said he
I
does
do
it
it
for
for
money.
money.
He does it
If
for
it's
his
for
income,
money.
his brand.
Okay, so I'm talking
He
about
said
he just put his name. He said, no, he don't do it for money.
What you do it for?
They edify the people and encourage somebody, bro. But they ain't gonna
Stop hold on. We are not about to start using church words. Don't say that.
No, hold on. You think saying something, bro?
Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Say that again, bro. Say that again.
Go ahead, edify.
So, I put a picture up there, and I have a little post up on it, encouraging people, edifying people, trying to build the people up, because I need people to know they need hope, you know what I'm talking about?
There's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
true.
And if you see me smiling one day, then I'm smiling. You see me like, damn, one day, bro. But hey, we gonna be alright. Then that's what it is. You know
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
give you
saying?
100 though. I would rather, and I know you was talking to the women, but I would rather, like, if I'm following a guy, I would rather it be that than to like, it be a nigga like constantly throwing hundreds or raves and shit like that. Like, you can't show blue scripts and Reddit raves and then try to put a motivational quote on that. Because that shit, no, they don't go together.
Yeah.
They don't go together.
So you're saying you can't change your energy. Your energy has to be the same.
Yeah,
First of all, you ain't giving nobody the game.
Exactly.
You ain't want to come over and pull up on one of them just like, oh man, I want to come there like this. I just work, man.
That's it.
I'm grind for this shit. Like, you gotta.
You gotta put. I would rather that.
I would rather that too.
Than it be like a flex motivation.
Yeah, that's trying to get old, man.
To me, shit, I know, like, I never like that.
All right, so
Don't show me what you have and then try to motivate me.
Show me how to get it.
Show me how you got it.
right, we need that. That's how you build somebody up.
Man, start with conversations like this though.
But you know niggas is, homie.
Some niggas, not all niggas.
But you know a nigga, but you can talk to them and reach out to them, let them know, hey, this how we gonna change, this the way we gonna start moving things.
So basically, we need each other, goddamn. Give each other the game, goddamn. We're gonna end it right here. How much time?
Part
we got?
one.
That's part one. All right, this will be part one then. You running out of time, and this nigga don't like to charge stuff. But anyway, it's the way report.
Joe Waters.
All right, Pete, got a question for you, bro.
Alright, what is on?
Should a man pay all the bills? Swear to God,
What?
should a man pay all the bills?
So what kind of man are we talking about, man? We talking a wealthy man? We talking a middle class
You,
man?
nigga.
We talking a man from a deep
What would you
struggle?
do? What
What I
would you
do?
pay all the bills?
Man, I got 4 kids. 2 of them on child support. I go 50-50 with you, and I take care of some things, this month, that I usually wouldn't take care of, just to take the load off you so you can get your nails done, go hang out with your girlfriends, go on a trip or something like that. But yeah, 50-50, man, until I get to a point where it can be 80-20. And I would like to get to, 100%, but
Okay, so you
that's
always-
just that's a distant reality, that's a tough grind to get.
So if you had it, you would.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I would love for my wife to be at home. You know what I'm saying? Just hanging out with her girlfriends, taking care of the kids, just doing her. If she got a hobby, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and work that thing. Go make your money. But at least you ain't got to wake up on time, get to work on time, take the stress of these people, bring it back home, and I got to massage it up out your mind. But life could just be a little bit more better for you, a little bit more peaceful. So if I can do that for my old lady, yeah, by all means, I'll rock it out. But for right now, yes, good Lord said have wisdom, right? Better have a perfect word. So yeah, it would be 50-50. Yeah, it'd be 50-50. I wouldn't do it 100%, bro, off the bat. I'm sorry. Not really.
Esther,
Yes.
what is the biggest misconception
that Christians have about Jesus? Ooh,
You know
her
me.
name is Esther.
You know me, brother. Wow, there's a lot. The biggest misconception that that you can kind of go to him at your leisure, but not put anything towards the relationship. I think people, Christians, kind of use the comforting aspect of Jesus, and they only go to him in times of need. They don't have a real foundation in their relationship. They don't go to him when they're happy. They don't go to him for wisdom. They don't read his word. They go to church on Sundays. They think that's enough to make a strong foundation of a relationship. But you really, just like any relationship, you need to get to know the person, whether it's a friend, a romantic relationship. You need to really get to know the person. You need to know their intentions for you, and you need to provide. It's a 50-50 thing. You know what I mean? You can't be getting all the benefits of a relationship but not putting anything towards a relationship either. So I think a lot of people regard God as that, especially since he's not in the physical form, that they can use him when they need him in times of need, and that he's just going to help him because he's so good. And then when things go wrong, they blame him. And it's just like, where were you? Where were you? You know what I mean? He wants the same thing from you. He wants to know your heart. He wants to know that he's a big impact on who you are as a person. So you need to give that to him.
Ooh. Being a teacher in Hillsborough County,
Oh my God.
all of us have been through the school system. Some of us have kids in the school system. As a teacher, what is the biggest issue with the education system?
Speak on it.
We're gonna be here all night, okay? Within the school system itself,
Yes.
the biggest flaw,
Biggest
is-
flaw?
I mean, it's the fact that teachers aren't really teaching anymore. They have so many demands on them, and the rules and responsibilities of a teacher is not the same that it was when I first started, and I started 8 years ago. Now a teacher is expected to be a nurse, a second mom, a doctor, a lawyer, you know, everything that you cannot be those things and still run an effective classroom and lesson plan and take care of your family at that same time. So that's one of the biggest things as a teacher. I mean, I'll be here all night talking about what parents do and don't do for their children. That's another thing. So I'm not even gonna talk no more. I'm just gonna be because I'm gonna be here all night, and then I'm gonna get so passionate about it. Y'all gonna be like, she tripping.
Nope, go do it.
Nah, don't go too far. The internet be getting people in trouble.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I look at it both ways. When you send your child to school, what is one of the reasons why you're sending your child or your children to school? It's to what? To learn, right? But if you're constantly sending me an email talking about, oh, my child didn't have snack is not mandatory in school. I mean, what does snack have to do with your child learning the education? Why, or my child forgot his jacket at school, can you go check your lost and found? These are the type of emails that you get throughout the day, not when you're supposed to be teaching. You don't get it after your job or your day is over, because it's really never over. But you get it during the day at 12 o'clock, and they expect you to look at your email while you're supposed to be teaching their child, and then be mad and have the audacity to say, why is my child failing your class? Well, you're emailing me every 5 minutes about this and that. It has nothing to do with their academics. You can email me about something so small and minor, but you cannot ask me about how is your child doing, successfully in my classroom. That's the problem. That's where it goes down to. I don't know. It's too much. So,
Raymond, what's the most overrated aspect of being a street nigga, living the street life?
Damn, that's a good question. To me, the most overrated aspect of living the street life is nobody ever tell you the consequences of your actions. A lot of times people tell you like, oh yeah, the street life is easy money, it's straight money. Hey, that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? There's no consequences. You're gonna be able to retire and go to Dubai for the rest of your life and sit on $3 million, but they never tell you the consequences of it. Never tell you that you're gonna lose your best friend and you can't do nothing about it because you wasn't there. They're not gonna tell you that you're gonna lose your nephew because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, hanging with the wrong people. The biggest issue that I have with people in the streets is they never tell the younger people that when you're coming up in the streets, yeah, you can do that, but you gotta find an avenue or a way out. You're either gonna end up dead or in jail. I thank God for my brothers and sisters and people like that because they told me shit like that. And yeah, you gotta learn for yourself sometimes, but at the same time, you always have to have a way out when it comes to the street life. You always have to. But for me, the biggest misconception is always the consequences. Even when you talk about music, like when people put music out, and they talk about, oh, I had this, and I was in this trap, and I sat on this, and I beat the Freds, and I was 2-0, and all this shit. They never talk about the consequences. They never talk about somebody dying. They never talk about losing close friends. They never talk about how you cope with that stuff. You resort to the drugs. They never talk about any of that stuff. For me, I always feel like that's always the biggest misconception.
Does your question? Does role models still exist?
Shit.
Role models in here right now.
Yeah and no. As far as do role models still exist, I think as especially as black men, a lot of dudes, they get to a place and they don't really, like, say for instance, you're successful. A lot of dudes, that they don't really take the time to reach down and see the person beneath them, not beneath them, but like as a financial standpoint or a way as far as a career path. They don't reach down and say, hey, let me pick this dude up and see if he needs a helping hand. They rather get to where they go and take care of their family and kind of forget about the people kind of behind them. So I would say that role models exist, but they don't, I haven't seen much of it lately, and I personally would like to. I personally would like to see more of that. I have friends and family who, myself, they don't really reach down and take care of the next person behind them. So, I mean, I guess that's the short answer. So, I don't know.
Question. Do you feel that's because most people are selfish these days?
Yeah. I mean, that's the short answer too. A lot of people are selfish these days, and they don't want to reach back. They're ready to be successful and have the things in life that they want, and they don't really reach back to see if the next person behind them is taking care of it. So, if I have a brother or a family member, like I recently got in a better position myself. I got a really good job. The first thing I did was everybody I know who could apply. I posted a Facebook status. One of the first things I did, hey, listen, I got a job at this place. They're hiring. Send me your resumes, all your information. I'm gonna post this up, and I'm gonna see if I can get anybody jobs. A few people got jobs, but to me, if I can help one person, that's gonna kind of carry forward. And when my job specifically, I'm not gonna say who they are because I don't want to, get in trouble or nothing. But when they are hiring more people, I'm gonna post the same status again. If I get more people in the door, then I can. So
You a real one.
that's what it is.
If you had somebody that you were with for a long time and they cheated on you, and they came to you and they told you that they cheated on you, would you forgive them? And has that ever happened to you before?
All right. So no, that has not happened to me before. But would I forgive? Initially, I want to say no, because I guess I haven't had something deep enough where I have felt that I would have forgiven that in the past. But I know so many people that do. So people aren't crazy. I know that people don't just go around wanting to be cheated on and then forgiving people.
Yeah.
So there's reasons and strengths in relationships and things that drive a man or a woman to try to forgive and try to move forward from that. So from my personal experiences, I can't say that I would or I won't do it, but there's so many people that do. Whether it's for kids' sake, whether it's for you're already married, you're living together, it's the routine of the lifestyle, being scared of being alone again, whatever it may be, people do it. So if you feel like you can live with peace with that person and live a happy life after being cheated on, then do it, you know? So that's what I have to say.
I hear you, Doc.
Say two people against the world, like it's them against the world, basically.
My follow-up question. When you put your heart into having a monogamous relationship and somebody breaks that trust, how do you recommend that somebody try to forgive? Or would you even take the time to forgive that person to go back to having a monogamous relationship?
I mean, there's a lot of variables that's like dependent on. So it's kind of like her question, the whole cheating thing, like it just depends. Like, are they worth it? How long has I been like developing something with them? I mean, I don't think I can answer that question unless you tell me other things.
So if they cheated and they told you that they cheated, it was one night, they had sex with somebody.
Have I been with them for over a year?
A year and a half.
Okay, and this is the first time they've ever cheated.
First time they've ever cheated.
And it was one night and they were drunk?
No, sober as hell.
They were sober. And they don't know this girl at all. This is just like a random thing.
They work with.
They work with them. It's over. It's a wrap. Yeah.
Do you believe in emotional cheating?
Yes.
Cheat emotionally?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever cheated in any way, shape, or form?
Absolutely not.
Your question is, where is the craziest place you have had sex?
Don't sleep on the couch, man.
Should I move, bro? Right now?
Better tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, man.
I'm gonna tell the truth. Damn, hold on. I ain't never told nobody this, man. Damn.
Oh, you must be crazy.
Craziest place.
Sunday school room, man.
Whoa.
I was in the Sunday school room, man.
Esther just gave us that great sermon.
I know.
Hey, man.
It was,
She said I'm a hole.
yeah, man. It was in Sunday school room, man. It was actually, I don't even want to even go that deep in detail because they go.
Okay, so this is before or after church?
This one I was just getting into it.
Hey, me too, bro.
This one I was just getting into it. Then when I realized that, how can I say this? Sex demons are real. Sex demons are real. And I struggled with a sex demon for a while. So, damn. Whew.
All right, we're gonna let him off the hook.
So wait,
Speak your truth.
It's freedom in the truth.
Yeah, but it was in the Sunday school room, man. I had asked for forgiveness for that for about almost 5 years straight. Every time I prayed, still to this day, sometimes I think back on it like, damn, I was tripping.
You was forgiven the first time, though.
Yeah, I was tripping though. But
do you believe that most people lie about how sexually advanced they are?
Yes.
Why?
Just to put up a front. I think that people want to pretend they're something that they're not. just to get that person. So I mean, I'm gonna say whatever I have to say to get you, like to get you in the bed, and then you might be whack, you might be sorry.
She said that. So.
What is one of the underrated qualities of a marriage that people overlook?
Yeah, what is it, Joe?
Underrated. Why you gotta say it like that, bro? Because of what? Because you love it?
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bro. Where you was in my first marriage, man?
I ain't know you back then.
That's true. That's a good point. I'll let y'all go. I didn't know me. All right. Underrated, say that again, quality?
One of the most underrated qualities of a marriage that people overlook.
Humility. Humility. I feel like both parties gotta be humble to, a certain extent. Like, you gotta be able to be accept certain personalities. Like when you're in a relationship and you know the person that you're with and you comfortable enough with them to get married, you shouldn't expect something to change when you get married. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be humble enough to understand that even though we might cross this threshold and become one and all that, I can't expect him or her to do something different from that, from this time on. You know what I mean? Like if that's who I want to marry and that's the person, that's the personality and everything that they do, I want to stick with that. You gotta stay with it, man. You can't really just flip a switch and say, I don't like this anymore. You know what I mean? You gotta humble yourself down. Even if you grow out of certain things, like you don't like certain things anymore, you gotta be humble enough to wait for that growth. Allow the other person to grow. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and I know I lack that personally. In my first marriage, like I fucked up big time because number one, she was younger than me. We had a 4-year difference, and that don't sound like much, but that shit it's a lot. That's a lot, bro. And I hit a growth spurt. I shot out of the world. Like certain stuff I didn't like anymore. I wasn't as immature, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, stay on the club scene, do certain things anymore. You know what I mean? And I didn't appreciate stuff that she liked that was involved in that kind of stuff. So I mean, I wasn't humble enough to talk to her like a man should and approach her in love. More, I was more than likely I was snapping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was snapping.
We all been there.
Like, bitch, what the fuck? I was snapping. I was snapping though. But I feel like you gotta be humble. You gotta be humble.
That's real.
That's what's up.
Tremonte,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what is the biggest problem with artists signing record deals?
You're willingly giving away to older white men who know nothing about music. You're publishing, you're licensing, your creative control, you're giving it all away willingly. You're voluntarily choosing to give away something you worked hard for, passionately in the studio. You wrote songs, you wrote the lyrics, you wrecked your brain at night trying to come up with something for your fans, and you're giving it away to people who could care less about you and could care less about your career. That's the biggest problem with artists signing deals. Signing a partnership with someone is different. You're working in a relationship together. But if you sign to someone, they have control over you and your career. You wonder why some of your favorite artists don't put out albums. Because they can't, because they don't own it. The record label owns it once you sign to them. You wonder why your favorite artists can't work with other artists, because they're not in control of their own career. It's 2019. You should not be signing record deals if you don't have to. If you selling crack on the street and you don't got parents and you need the money, that's a rare case that's different. But if you have a team around you, build yourself a good team, if you have people who believe in you and you're making good music and it's getting a good reception, you have no need, once again, to give away something that you worked so hard to create to older white men in hip hop who could care less about you and your family. That's the problem.
I got a follow-up question.
Okay, go ahead, do your thing.
How come we have never seen Black Thought, Denzel Washington Jr. and you in the same room together at the same time?
Because I'm flying in them niggas. That's why.
Say less.
I don't look like Denzel Washington Jr.
You do.
People say that, but
Watch the next episode.
Alright. Think of the question, since you with all the smoke,
With all the smoke.
do you miss your ex?
No.
wow.
He just died.
Do I miss
Wow.
That hurt.
Do I miss my ex? No.
You know she watched the show, right?
I understand that.
She won't follow
You don't miss her?
No.
Alright. Why she dropped you off over there?
She did drop me
I'll
off.
just
follow up? You want me to follow up?
They would ask me, I would cry straight up.
Hey,
We just broke up 2 months ago.
if you could go back in your marriage and fix something that you did wrong, what would you do?
I would have been a man.
Expound.
There's a lot of times when people have problems in a relationship and it's the other person's fault. There's a lot of times where to make myself look better, I'll say it's somebody else.
Right.
There's a lot of times where if I'm unhappy with something, I'll say that it's the other person's fault. There's a lot of times where if I'm doing wrong at taking my time and my attention and putting it into somebody, that I will sit back and say, well, they're not doing something enough. The first question you asked me was, do I miss my ex? No, I don't. The reason why I don't miss my ex is because I'm very much at peace with every portion of everything that we stand. Any type of relationship that I have and can possibly share with her, I earned it. If I'm in a place where she hates me and I hate her, I'm not walking out of the love that I'm supposed to have for God. I'm not supposed to hate anybody. If she hates me, it's because I hurt her. And I didn't do my job as a man to be a real man to her. So I don't miss anybody. Why would I miss you if I have another day to make things right? Why would I miss you if I have an opportunity to fix things that I messed up? As a man, I didn't take accountability. I was in a marriage where we made the money work. We made certain parts of the house work. But I never made my mind work to work for her. It was always a partnership in what we could do for each other. It was never what I could do for her. It's not a gump feeling to feel like I could have done more. The problem with marriage, especially when you're a Christian, is it's your job to be a leader. And so many people lose sight of the fact that there's leadership that's required in a relationship. If a marriage fails, it's because I failed at being a leader. Now, there's times where there's other elements, but in mine, it failed because I failed to be a leader to her. So you know what I would do? You know why I don't miss anybody? It's because if I have another day, I'm gonna make sure I'm being the best father and the best leader to my son. If I have an opportunity to share an experience with her, it's because I'm gonna be the best person to her. If that ever goes deeper and beyond that, it's because I earned it. I earned every bit of separation that we have at this very moment. If you have an abusive person and that person doesn't want to be close to you because they feel like you're going to hit them, you earn that feeling by putting your hands on that person. So if you have an abrasive relationship and that person is scared to talk to you because they think you might yell at them, you earn that position that you have in that relationship. But if you have rainbows, butterflies, cupcakes, and strawberry ice cream every day with your person, that doesn't exist either. I want that middle ground.
So Joe, if she asks you, if she wants you back, you go back?
It ain't about her wanting me back. It never was about her wanting me back.
I mean, but if she wants you back, are you going back?
It's not about her wanting
But
me
if
back.
she wants you back, are you going back?
No. You know what? Her wanting me back means nothing.
Okay.
A man has to court a woman. I have to want to put the effort in.
Okay.
So she could want me back all day. But it means nothing if I don't put the effort in. What's the purpose?
So you don't want it.
That's not what I said at all. If a man wants a woman, he's gonna court her. He's gonna show her that she's important. He's gonna show her that she could be valued. So I don't base anything off of about what she would want. It's all about what I would be willing to put and do to make it work. I don't want it to just be okay. I have to make it great. I want all the smoke.
You sure?
Hey.
Good.
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 I see what you're doing. Go ahead.